And we are live. Isn't it beautiful to go live and to just say things and do things? Okay, so since I'm live in my kitchen, I just want to maybe talk about that hot button subject that is in everybody's mind these days. Huh? Which is the blatant murder. Let's get this right. Forgive me because this is my first live and I don't think I was prepared for it. It is not coming the way I want it to be. So I'm gonna step outside where it is beautiful out in Mississippi. Right, right. Maybe this will do a better job. Where the light is probably hitting a little bit better. Where the light is might be a little bit better. Mhm. We get the right lighting, everything going here. Here we go. Which one is better? That one. Okay. All right. So we're doing it right here. So I just want to talk about this hot button topic that everybody is talking about. With the killing of this black man by that cop who decided that he just wanted to snuff his life out like he's nothing. Living in America, being a citizen of this great country that I love so much, I, I pause sometimes to think that how wicked could one be? I mean, how much does our life value? How much? How much does people care? Did you all see how casual he was when he was killing that man? I mean, he was at ease. It's like he leave work and was sitting inside his living room, sipping on cognac, and just decide that okay, he is just gonna kill somebody. That's how it seems to me. I mean, the guy sit with his hand in his pocket, and he was just looking around at people. And at one stage, somebody seemed to get close, and he reached for his mace, like he said, "Buck off! I'm gonna kill him today." That was just a lynching without a rope, man. And you know, I listened to the news, and I heard a lot of people saying different things about this. And then I heard one newscaster say something last night. I think it was on Fox and he said, "This is not systemic racism." Okay, so what is systemic racism then? I mean, if there's no systemic racism in America, um, where is it? How you categorize systemic racism? If you wanted to treat somebody different because of the color of their skin, or you want to treat somebody inferior with that great inferiority complex because uh, he is his skin tone is different. What make it so different? I just need to know. Um, but one thing though, all this burning down and killing and looting and beating people and shooting cops, and it do not help. It honestly don't. And that's the reason why the Old Testament cannot stand anymore. Because it did said an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But then that would leave everybody blind and a lot of people without teeth. It definitely would. So that's the reason why Jesus have to come to bridge that gap. To say if a brother offend you and hit you on one cheek, turn the other one. Because under the law, nobody could be perfect. So if you keep hurting people and keep doing things like those, we could not be perfect. So please, that's burning and looting and trying to make matters worse. And then we have to live in the same community that we're destroying. Come to think about it. I'm certain while he was crying for his mom with his last dying breath, he would not condone some of what is happening. We are ruining our kids' future. The places where our grandchildren need to go and shop and go sit in the park and we are messing it up. We are we are hurting ourselves by doing all of this. And I'm old enough to remember way back when, you know, won't tell you my age. I'm old enough to remember Rodney King and everything come straight up. And I'm telling you, there was riot before, and it always happening. And there's something I wonder about. Do you notice how all of these races, all of these races, all of these people who profess fascism and racism and classism, do you realize they're all quoting Dr. Martin Luther King? All of them will say, "Well, if Martin Luther King was here, this wouldn't be his way. If Martin Luther King was doing this wouldn't be his way." Do you forget that you kill him too? Do you guys forget that you also kill him because you're a racist? It seemed like you forget that you're the one who killed, who shot him, let him bleed out until he was dead. You killed the man because he was speaking about injustice. You imprison Marcus Garvey because he was speaking about injustice. You deport him, send him back to Jamaica. You you all lock away Nelson Mandela until he become an old man. Only have few years to live. You let him out. 27 years. Medgar Evers, Malcolm X. You guys kill all of them. Although one of them they was killed by a black man. But hey, you lynch Emmett Till. Just in the 50s here. It was okay for you to just go into the square and take your kids and buy them ice cream and say, well, we're going to have a lynching today. Who would it be? Oh, it might be Mr. Simmons slave guy. You know, he was looking at Mary Jane too much because Mary Jane was white. Or he might be peeping up her skirt or see her in a compromising position. It would be a public lynching in the square. You hang him like his dog. So Martin Luther King died for the cause, okay? So stop quoting him to justify yourself. Yes, he was peaceful. Respect that. Yes, he was a religious leader. Respect that. He was nonviolent. Yes. He marched with his Bible instead of his gun. Yes. But you guys show him in a lot of jail cells. Yeah. He know a lot of jail cell for his views because he's black. Now all the people who follow him around, they know it too. It never changes. It never changes. We need to take a look at ourselves because black people, these black young guys who is growing up, it's gonna be a generational shift because they won't allow what happened to them. What happened to Martin Luther King back in the days when they were marching and those people, it could not happen now. These young kids, these young kids wouldn't, you couldn't, they would be killing a lot of people. They would be doing a lot of things, hurting people. It's a different generation. Nobody's going silently these days. Everybody have rights. Yes. So violence is not the answer. And I know it is in the Constitution that you have a right to be heard, free speech and all of that, which is very good. You know, free speech is in the Constitution. Being a police is not. So free speech outdate the policeman in this place. So you're free to speak your mind, but do it peacefully, I beg you. Do it peacefully because you're hurting your own self. We're hurting ourselves when we do those things. So I'm just pleading to everybody for our future, for our kids and our children, our grandchildren and our great grandchildren, and for those people who is gonna live way after we are gone. Just like how our ancestral relative, they know that they should rebel. Slavery was abolished forcefully. Don't forget, they killed Abraham Lincoln because he abolished slavery. But he didn't just get up one day and say he was abolishing slavery. He wanted to stop the slavery business in America. They were revolting and revolting and revolting and revolting. They have to fight for it. So when people are revolting now, it's not new. It's not new. People's voice have to be heard. And we should not fester fire. We should not fester those things. But we can do it peacefully. And yes, change will come. Arrivederci. This is Roy. Subscribe to my channel. It's YouTube. Palmady Roy. That's where you find me. Subscribe until I return with another one of my small little narrative from this little corner of Mississippi. Arrivederci.